Well, hello there. Welcome. Welcome to another edition. Yes, another edition of Nick's Friction Zone. I am your host, yours truly, Nick. And as for yourself, whether you are a new visitor, whether you're a friend, relative, stranger, whoever you are, I hope you're having a great day, and I truly do hope you are having a blessed day. Well, this video is actually a part two of a video that I made about a month ago in regards of the differences between a Honda Rebel 300 and a Harley Davidson Sportster Iron XL 883. So, if you haven't watched the first movie or the first video, I'm sorry, I will drop a link in the comment section or in the description of the video, rather, and I encourage you to check it out. Once again, this video is geared more towards someone who rides bikes, and ideally, perhaps you ride a Honda Rebel, a smaller displacement bike, and you're thinking about upgrading or changing to a higher displacement bike, such as the Harley Davidson Iron 883. I feel like I have a bit of personal experience in that regards, where I've ridden both bikes. And all throughout in this channel, I just try my best to give you an honest review on my experiences and adventures as a bike rider. So yeah, I hope this video helps you. I hope you find the information useful for your own journey. And I guess lastly, I just want to thank you for visiting my channel. I know that I realize that I'm not the greatest content creator out there, and I don't have a lot of the fancy stuff. I don't have a production crew behind me. This is just a one-man crew that tries to just just make these videos out of thin air. This is not my job. This is not my full-time career. I have another job. I'm actually a web programmer. I'm in IT, but I just love riding bikes so much that I feel like I want to give back to the community and to my fellow bikers out there. Anyways, well, I guess let's get started with the review. Here we go. Okay, so let's talk about some of the differences on the ride. So the last video that I made, and I'll post a link on the first video if you're interested in watching, I didn't talk too much about the engine specs, but I think on this video I kind of have to. So some very quick facts on the engine spec differences. A Honda Rebel 300 is 24 horsepower with 17 pounds of torque. And it's a single cylinder. I wish I had my Honda Rebel 300 with me so I can do like a real side-by-side comparison. I'm sorry I don't have it. It's not that I hate the Honda Rebel 300. To the contrary, I love the bike. I loved it, and if I could keep that bike and have two, I would. But for circumstances that were beyond my control, I had to give up my Honda Rebel 300. That's for another story. I have an interesting story about my dealer, but basically they had to take it back. Anyways, so okay, so I talked about the engine specs of the Honda Rebel 300. The 883 is different. It's 833cc. It's 54 horsepower and 54 pounds of torque. So purely on the torque, the low end torque, there's huge differences. It's more than double. And on the horsepower, it's essentially double as well. You will feel the difference between the two bikes. Okay, so What do I mean by it? Okay, let me give you like a very practical explanation. When I first started riding my Honda Rebel 300, I made a mistake one time of, holding my throttle with my hand like this, and I just kind of like yanked it down on first gear by mistake from a stop position, and the bike just flew, but it flew to around 25, 30 miles per hour. Okay, on this bike, if you do the same thing, if you make a mistake and if you roll the throttle like all the way down on first gear, you will be flying to, within seconds, you'll be at 50 miles per hour. Okay, that is a huge difference. So what I'm trying to say is that, when they say that if you have a Honda Rebel 300, the bike will be more forgiving, it's more geared towards beginners. That's really true. Okay, you can't make that mistake on this bike. If you do, you could just wham, just kind of go into La La Land. Okay, you can sort of make that mistake on the raw Honda Rebel 300. On this one, you really can't. So really, the amount of horsepower and the torque between the two bikes is extremely different. Beware. Okay, it's a little airplane flying by. I'm sorry. Okay. The second thing that I'll note is, negotiating curves can be drastically different. Look at these foot pegs. Can't tell too much, but they're scraped. This bike, if you try to negotiate a curve at a high speed, and if you have to like lean, you will most likely scrape your foot pedals. So what I'm trying to say is that the lean angle on this bike is a lot less forgiving than on a Honda Rebel 300. I have a neighbor who's been a bike rider for all his life, basically. He told me a really good analogy. So he said that, riding a Honda Rebel 300, it's kind of like driving a sedan car, and he wasn't trying to say anything bad about the Honda Rebel 300, but it's kind of like riding a sedan car, kind of like, I don't know, driving a Honda Civic or a Honda Accord. Okay, it's really fun. You have more maneuverability. You can kind of like, it's a lighter car. This bike, it's kind of like handling a truck. It's like a Dodge Ram, kind of like boom, 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 boom. The entire thing shakes. It's really heavy. It's much more difficult for you to negotiate a curve. Lean angles are much less forgiving. So, so I really like that analogy. Okay, so a Honda Rebel, whether it's a 300 or 500, I would sort of, I would equate it to riding a sedan car, and this one is more like driving a truck. There's nothing wrong with either. Okay, it's just the way it is. But those are the differences. The front tires are going to be a little bit different. I don't know, I forget what the exact specs are on the front tire. The Honda Rebel 300 is more of a bobber style bike, where the front tire is much thicker or wider, I guess. And the Harley Davidson, if you look at the front tire, it's pretty skinny. It's pretty standard. And I would venture to say that they've probably done that because because they knew that this bike is a little bit heavy and you need more room to negotiate a curve. So I think that's why they made the front tire so thin. The back tire, I wish it could have been thicker as well, but I understand why it was made that way. I think that's it. You know, at the end of the day, a bike is a bike. It has two wheels, an engine, and a handlebar. Okay, but you really will feel the difference in the power on the engine. You can have a lot of fun on this bike, and you can also have a lot of fun on the Honda Rebel. Okay. All right. Well, I guess this is all I got. Um, if you have any questions, anything additional that you would like to comment on, you know, please please add a comment to the video. Okay. Well, that's all I have. Thank you for watching. I hope you're doing well. God bless you, and take care. Bye.